The moment we've all been waiting for is finally almost here. It feels like there is reports out there that the Green Bay Packers want to move on from Aaron Rodgers. And if this was just a random report from a random reporter, I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't even be selling it. I would tell you not to be buying it, but this is different, y'all. This is legitimate. And I think this is as good for the Lions as it is the Packers, as it is for the NFC North, as it is for the NFL. It is time for Aaron Rodgers to move on from Green Bay. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but first let's see who reported it and the how good the report might be. So, according to a report from ESPN's Adam Schefter, pause, it's legit. It's simply legit. Adam Schefter does not report false stuff. It doesn't mean that Aaron Rodgers is traded. It does not mean that he 100% will be traded. But if Adam Schefter hears a report that the Green Bay Packers are looking to move on from Aaron Rodgers, what it means is that's what's actually happening. The Green Bay Packers are looking to move on from Aaron Rodgers, which has to be music to the ears of Detroit Lions fans who are sick of the last 30 plus years having to deal with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers 2 times every year. To see 2 of the best quarterbacks that have ever done it, as much as anybody else, more than anybody else, not named the Vikings and the Bears. So they've had to deal with it a ton. So let's go ahead and continue reading this. The annual talk of Aaron Rodgers trade may actually have merit this year. Per Schefter, the Green Bay Packers, in quote, prefer to move on from Rodgers just as it once did with Brett Favre. Schefter added that Rodgers knows of the franchise's feelings toward the situations. Okay, toward the situations. Another pause. I just realized I didn't share that screen with you. All right, here you can read it as I'm talking. I just read this one right here. Okay, so if there's anything you want to see while I'm talking, here's what I'm talking, and this is what I love. Aaron Rodgers is aware of the franchise's feelings toward the situation. Here's what's happening: the Green Bay Packers have been a traditionally really good franchise. Now, have they been good because they've had great ownership? Have they, the town, good leadership, I guess we can say? Have they been great because there's something special up in the water in Green Bay? Or have they been special because they've had 3 franchise phenomenal quarterbacks in their history? You can answer that question for yourself, but they have been a really good franchise throughout the history of their franchise. Sure, there's been some down years like every franchise. Every franchise has some down years, some more than others. Okay, but now Aaron Rodgers knows. They've done this before. The last time they did this, Aaron Rodgers was the one that was moving in. This tells me that Matt LaFleur actually has some confidence in Love. That's what this tells me. This tells me that he thinks that they can win with other people. And it also shows that they might be throwing away next year and that they might not think that they can compete. And when you say, no, they're not throwing away next year, well, hold on. Let's look at their cap situation. Let's pull this back up. And it says last year, Rodgers signed a 3-year extension with a couple of essentially void years tacked on beyond that. But after another disappointing season, blah, 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 with a decision coming on Jordan Love's future, the former first-round pick is entering the final year of his rookie contract, and a 5th-year decision is due by May 1st. They are going to want to add that on. So if the Packers decide, and this is where I'm going to start getting into how they might be throwing away next year, if they decide to move on from Rodgers, they'll take a massive dead cap hit of over $40 million immediately. His current cap hit for 2023 is 31.6. So that means that it will be more expensive for the Green Bay Packers to move on from Aaron Rodgers than it will be to keep him this year. Just remember that. It will cost them $8.4 million more to move on. And as of right now, they're already $16 million over the cap. However, they do have an out in Aaron Jones contract that could create over $10 million in space if needed. Now, we are not Green Bay fans here. So I don't know their exact salary cap situation. But if I'm Green Bay, here's what I'm thinking. I move on from Aaron Rodgers, just like we moved on from Stafford. Remember, we had to pay, I think it was 31, 32, 33, 30, something like that in dead cap space. It killed us that year. We had no ability to go out in free agency. We didn't have the ability to compete. But here's the thing with the Packers. They have their backup quarterback, Jordan Love, that will be their starter. They have a pretty good defense in place, no matter what you want to say about it. So maybe they're thinking to themselves, hey, maybe we can compete because we don't have a super strong division. The Lions, yes, we were 9-8 last year. The Vikings won a lot of close games. They're not as good as their record showed. And the Bears have been a struggle. So they're not ready probably to compete. So the Packers are probably wondering, can we not be great, but still compete for the North and then move on and be even better after that? These are the questions that we have to ask. But for now, what we know is that Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers are starting to look more and more likely that they're moving on and that they're going to see and venture brighter pastures. I don't know where Aaron Rodgers goes. New York Jets seem to be the place. It seems to be it. And the Packers will get a lot in return for him. So I think this is a win-win for everybody involved, including the Detroit Lions, including the Detroit Lions. But I think it would have even been better for us if we allowed Rodgers to stay another couple years and then they didn't really get anything for him and they didn't have a quarterback of the future because Jordan Love, they couldn't just keep retaining over and over and over again. So they want to get Jordan Love in there. It's kind of a unique situation. The cap stuff isn't perfect. We'll see what kind of a quarterback he will be. But what we know is that he might be out of here. How do you feel about this as a Lions fan? Are you excited to see him go? Did you start to enjoy us starting to get the better of him? Like, hey, just as we're starting to figure this guy out and beat him, he leaves. That's a bummer, right? Like, where are you at with Aaron Rodgers? Are you one of those people that respects how open he is? Are you one of those people that can't stand him? Here's what I do know. I'm proud of the Green Bay franchise for getting out ahead of this before Aaron Rodgers could hold them hostage again and before he could get his whatever out. They leaked the information to Adam Schefter that they're looking to move on from him. Good job, Green Bay. Good job. I think that's smart. All right, we'll see you guys on the next one. Let us know what you think. Hopefully we're saying bye-bye to Aaron Rodgers.